Okay, so we'll have a recording of this. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Stephen.
And a new year, our first show of the new year. And, well, we'll have to see how it goes. I think our numbers are a bit down. I think numbers on the UK side are down overall at the moment. We'll just have to... Oh, you tweeted too. Good. Right, okay. We'll just have to see how it goes. And we do have some competition today at this particular time because of the chat with a few hundred viewers. Who's decided to do Thursday at 10 o'clock as well.
Oh, right.
But I think most of his are Spanish speaking, so they don't speak Lancashire and they don't speak Midland. So, yeah. I got a message last night. Would we be on air? And here we are now, and we've been joined by Rod Sloane. Mr. Sloane, would you like to come on air? You're more than welcome to do so. It's a long time since John and I have seen you. Right, okay. Morning, Peter. Good to see you. You're both welcome to come on air and join us. That's Peter and Rod, and Rod's just happy to listen to us blabbing, but we can say good morning to
the Tolkienator. Is he in bed today? That's the question.
I think he's prepared today, because Peter did message me last night to check that we were still going to be here at Thursdays at 10 o'clock. So he should be. Oh no! Good morning, Peter.
Mobile.
He's in a coffee shop. Which one? Right. Okay. So we joined on mobile this time. The beauty of this technology is that it works on desktops, on tablets, and on phones. And hopefully later this year we'll see an Android version. But apparently they're waiting until they've sorted everything out. Morning, Peter. Where are you?
I'm in McDonald's in Aberdeen. I've been up since 6 and I was out the door in the first job at 8 o'clock this morning.
Wow. Yeah. And what's it like up there at the moment? Because you're expecting some weather, aren't you?
Yeah, we've had really bad weather, pouring rain, very, very high winds. It's quite miserable actually. It's one of those things.
Yeah. And snow on its way too?
No, I believe it's going to be very cold shortly. But, we're used to it up here. We're used to it.
Yeah. So it's got colder here in the last couple of days. And say good morning to Damien who's joined us as well. Yeah. So, how are things going in the new year?
For me?
Business. Yeah.
My pest control business. It's been very busy throughout. I've just finished a month of singing, and now I'm just getting my books made for my talking air training. They're getting finished off, and I'm going to concentrate on getting some courses up and running. We'll get some meetings in, and then take it from there.
Sounding good.
I hope to go in a couple of courses. I'm going down to the PSA next week in Edinburgh, the Professional Speaking Association. And I'm also thinking of going to Bradburton for phone, and maybe going to go down to his seminar as well. Very, very near future. That's me.
And John.
Saw a customer I haven't seen, a past customer I haven't seen for a long time on Tuesday because he's been working in India for 3 years.
Oh, good.
He came home though because he got belly and was struggling to survive over there. He wants a new website, so we'll have a go at that and see what we can do with him in the UK. And you, Stephen, have you had anything exciting this week?
Exciting this week? Yes, I started a new piece of software, which I feel will rock the world. Well, no, it'd be very useful.
Rock the world.
It's basically you've heard of Tweet Jukebox.
Yep.
Yeah. Now Tweet Jukebox is by one of our friends on Empire Cred, and its basic principle is to have a jukebox of tweets, which it sends out either at random throughout the course of the day. Now, I've working on a desktop version, which is similar. If you think about it, people write blogs, but they don't. It's very difficult to promote them. So what Promoters does is it actually keeps a bank of your blogs.
And you've gone. Can't hear you, I'm afraid. You've gone totally silent, Stephen.
With the blog title and URL.
Stephen's popped out to come back in again. Peter, I can hear you. Can you hear Stephen, Peter? Oh, still can't hear you, Stephen. Hello, young man. Stephen, I still can't hear you, Stephen. Can anyone else hear Stephen? No, Rod can't hear you either. Stephen's going to go out and come back in again by the look of things. How are you, Rod? Long time no see.
Yeah, long time. Where are you, John?
I'm in Solihull, just south of Birmingham.
Okay, I know Solihull. My brother lives around there. Okay. And what is the purpose of this blab?
We do this every Thursday morning. We've been doing it for nearly 2 months now, I think. It's just to encourage people in the UK to come on, and we provide a friendly environment where you can just have a chat. So quite a lot of people have been a bit frightened of coming on and using their camera, and we thought we'd provide an environment where you can just come. We've talked about amazing things over the last 8 weeks. Seen some amazing sights when some of the guys in Scotland have showed us what's happening around their areas, and talked about business as well. Just really a general chit chat. It's Stephen's the main driver, and I've been acting as his co-host for the last few weeks. I welcome people when they come in on the right hand side, and we also all interact together. Can you hear us, Stephen? We still can't hear you.
Put some money in the meter, Stephen.
You, Rod, what are you doing these days?
What am I doing these days? That's a good question. I'm doing a bit of consulting, and I'm about to launch a sort of new venture this year. They should not talk about too much, but hopefully is, like we've all got big ideas. This is gonna be the big thing we're gonna do. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. Yeah. So this is it. Yeah. So 2016 is it. Maybe. Hopefully.
Definitely. Positive attitude and all that.
Yeah. So you're the eye candy, are you, John?
No, I'm the operator at the back. The eye candy's gone away. The man from Stonehenge is normally the driver.
Right.
Stephen's been. I don't know how much you've been using Blab at all, but Stephen's established himself as an interviewer.
Okay.
Each week now, he does 2 or 3 online interviews with people in different areas. And that's become quite popular. He unable to connect due to a network error. Make sure your connection isn't blocked by a firewall. He's bought himself this fancy new camera. I suspect he's having problems with that. So yeah, we come here. We usually have about an hour. We've got friends from Scotland and Ireland that join in as well. Quite a few of them we've found don't come in until about 10:30. And had all sorts of fun, really. Peter, the guy that keeps popping in and out, when we have the holidays time version, he joined in from bed, and we could see him running his business and taking calls for his pest control business and assigning them to his staff from bed. So yeah, we've had all sorts of fun.
That sounds like a dodgy Channel 4 program. In bed with the business.
This is Channel 5. It's not Channel 4. It's not that respectable.
Or ITV2, whatever that, or ITV4.
Yeah, ITV.
24 hours in bed with the Talkinator.
The BBC was so ashamed of BBC 3, aren't they? They're moving it onto the internet.
Yeah. Well.
We must be BBC 3. Peter's going to have another try coming in as well. Hey, hello, Mr. Talkinator. How are you doing? No, you can barely hear him. Peter's a pest controller that does talks as well, hence he's called the Talkinator.
Okay.
We have got a few other regulars that pop in, and they're here, but you can see that we've got a few people on now. We've had at one stage we've had as many as 27 Brits all joined in. Now they're all going. It's just me now. Hello. Hi, Liam. Would you like to pop in? We're having a few technical difficulties with Stephen today. Why don't you come and join us, Liam, and tell us what you're up to? Oh. Are you there, Liam? Hello, Rod. You're back again. Liam's going to join us. He's on the west coast of Ireland. Hiya, Liam. How you doing?
Hi, John. Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you too. Stephen is sort of with us in spirit, I think. He's having a few network difficulties.
All right. Okay.
How's the man talk going, Liam?
Well, I'm just starting again on Saturday this week, so we just took our time getting going, and looking forward to having learned a bit from the last number of sessions, you know. Did you
above you, Liam, can you see the gentleman above you?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, that's Rod. We've known him a long time as well. And,
Rob, how you doing, Rob?
Rod,
I'm well.
Rod, the D.
Yeah.
I'm from the northwest of Ireland, Bob. That's where I'm living up here at the moment. Yourself?
I am in Ealing, West London.
All right, very good. And how's all your weather been over the last while? Like, I know Ireland has a terrible weather, but I obviously realise parts of England have been really destroyed as well with weather or rain or floods.
It's all right, Liam. It's only the unimportant bits that have been destroyed.
Lancashire.
Nothing like.
Rod, Liam runs a regular show on a Saturday about men's things. But he takes on topics that you wouldn't expect men to talk about and talk about it from a men's viewpoint. Is that a reasonable description, Liam?
Yeah, well, this week's topic's going to be men and work and career and the sort of just thinking about what all that meant in the past and what it means now and what the nature of work will be in the future and how that impacts on men's psyche and their role in the world, you know. So looking forward to look, I realise, like everything in this, it's a slow burn thing. Hi, Stephen.
We still can't hear you, I'm afraid, Stephen.
All right, but he's still. So anyway, that's what we're hoping to do this Saturday, and at least I'm finally trying to get myself to get a website off the ground to support it, and so we can curate previous shows in and all of that. So that's my learning experience.
It's not going to be quite as controversial as the one the other week on abortion.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, it's not there because it's controversial. It's there because it's necessary, and in fact, it may well be controversial because in the future nature of work that we're likely to see is, I was just describing someone, it's two fundamental shifts away from the tradition that would have existed prior to the Industrial Revolution. In the Industrial Revolution, men spent their lives with their families, working around a rural household. The Industrial Revolution took men away from families, made that split, you know, made man the breadwinner earner who had to leave home. And in this next generation, where work will be almost in a virtual space, there's a whole other generation. For example, in the Industrial Revolution, men often worked in the careers or trades their fathers worked in. So they might have often worked alongside their fathers and grandfathers in a multi-generational experience. The newer generation of young people growing up will have no idea of even how their fathers or grandfathers even lived. So there's a multi-schism coming down the road. And the other thing is, like, there's very likely to be a huge proportion of people working as basically technical shelf stackers in call centers, etc. So, you know, question is, what does that do for the human psyche? What does it do for one's view of oneself? What does it do for how you see your role as a provider in the world, you know? So I think it is controversial only insofar as that, like, the people who talk on the thing, they have to say what they want themselves. It's not. There's no permission being given by a higher authority, and there's nobody looking over your shoulder saying, "Oh, you can't be speaking like this, guys." You know. So maybe that's. Anyway, looking forward to a year of it while I have my porridge here. Get me going.
I notice you're a milkman, are you? Not a waterman like our Scottish brothers.
Yeah, no. And also, I have mixed fruit in my porridge, so like I'm a few shades away from being a real man, you know.
Very metropolitan. Yeah. Is that Flanagan's Oats then, Liam? Is that proper Irish porridge, or is it
Flahavans? Yeah, the Flahavans have now realised they put a few sultanas and bits of apples in. They can get the soft guys like me, you know.
Oh, dear.
You can't buy that over here. So it's expensive. All the Irish stuff's expensive over here. It's all exotic now.
Oh, yeah, well, I suppose, isn't that interesting that no matter where you go, even though we're in a global village, once stuff is shipped in, that's off the norm. It just goes up in price, you know.
Yeah, I was looking at Tato crisps and red lemonade yesterday in the supermarket. Right. You know. Yeah. You could get 5 bottles of clear lemonade for the price of 1 bottle of red lemonade. Yeah. And I don't think it tastes any different. So.
Well, it's a bit like the sort of organically grown food or farmers' food or anything with any specialism in it. You know, that's the aisle you go to, and you just pay premium rates for it. You know.
So, John, can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
Have you made any resolutions for 2016, and what are they?
Have I made any resolutions? I made a resolution not to make any resolutions, so I wouldn't break any resolutions.
Oh, that's a cop out.
I've promised myself, I've not made a resolution, I've made a promise to myself that I'll try and grow the business this year. I had a really, I won't call it a bad year, but a slow year last year.
Okay.
And this year I want to make sure it's not quite so bad. I was 60 on Saturday, and I realised that maybe I need to, maybe I need to make
well done.
that in 6 years' time I've got everything, you know, where I want to be, and the next 6 years I do what I want to do, but still earn a living. You know.
What do you do, John?
Sorry.
What do you do?
I run a little, I don't know, marketing agency, I guess you would call it. I do websites, but that probably only is about 40%, 50% of what I do. And I do everything from signs for the local couple of local building companies, social media for a few people. And I've got a couple of clients where I do some fairly extensive SEO for them and Google AdWords. So it's a mix, really. I like the fact it's a mix. And I do a lot of marketing for other people and bugger off for me. I actually survive around 10 clients. I lose 1 or 2 a year, and I get 1 or 2 new ones a year. I've no ambitions of being a giant company at all.
Right. How long do clients stay with you for normally?
I've still got some clients that have been with me since 1999.
Really?
I had at one stage, maybe perhaps a bit longer now, 5 to 6 years ago, quite a few small double glazing businesses that I'd had success with one, and he'd spoken to his mate, you know, and all of a sudden, 5 of those 6 went bust in a matter of months.
So it's all your fault. All the bloody leaflets we get through.
Yeah.
No, the reason I say that is I have an optimal amount of time that I work with a client.
Yeah.
Work for any longer, this sort of diminishing marginal returns kick in. So I find I can work with somebody maximum for 6 months. When I first start working for them, they think I'm wonderful, I'm God's gift, I'm brilliant, I'm innovative, and it sort of goes up like that and slowly. So I find I, on purpose now, won't work for people for more than 6 months.
Well, that must be interesting, meeting a regular stream of new people to keep yourself going. I quite often will get pulled in to do, say, a website, and then I'll end up doing loads of other things because they like the website.
Right.
And I've got a few clients where I first met them 10 years ago, 15 years ago, did a website then, which cost a small fortune, which would cost 1/10 of the price today. And I'm still working with them. And I've done perhaps 3 websites. We've done various campaigns, leaflets, brochures, postcards, and all that sort of stuff over the years.
So we've got a question there from Sharlene. Do you want to answer that one, John? On the right-hand side there. What?
God, blimey.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever changed my career. Anyone got an answer for Sharlene, guys? What sources have you used? Well, there's some good stuff on Udemy, and if you look around at the moment, they're running a $10 campaign or a £9 campaign. Okay, I'm not quite sure how £9 and $10 work out the same, but
why don't we ask Sharlene what she's looking to do? Because that's a pretty generic question. What exactly are you looking to do or achieve, Sharlene? Might be the response to that, I'd have thought.
I mean, I suppose it seems like an understatement to say that return to education, and I use that word in its most global sense in the way that you mentioned, John. But I think that there's two things that come from re-engagement with education to change your career. And one is it's a good assessment of where you are at the moment. Probably the most influential thing I did in my career, the vast majority was as a lecturer in an Institute of Technology in an engineering department. So, but in the late 90s, I did a master's in managing change out of Sheffield University, which was probably the single most influential element of my whole life, never mind career. And most of it because I think this thing cost 12,000 sterling a year for 2 years for me to do this. So this is a monstrous sum of money for sitting around a room talking to guys just like I'm talking to you. I mean, it was not your formal thing at all. It was really about reflective being and that sort of stuff. But what I think the real value is, it really made me look at the idea of education is really about drawing out what's in your own innate abilities internally. And the other thing is that I had this learning path, which was where did I come from? Where am I now? Where do I want to go? How am I going to get there? How will I know when I've got there? And finally, how can I prove to others that I've got there? And those 6 steps, it might cost you 24,000 sterling to get the handle on, but they're really critical even for Sharlene. You know, where's she from? That was the question you asked her about. You know, what have you been doing, I suppose, and where do you want to go? So to even assess where your skills are now is an important thing. So, and whether that education comes through a formal going to a process and, you know, in a college or something, or whether it's you should do in Udemy online, I do think that engaging with others in the process is quite useful, because like we're doing here, in reflecting with each other, you often hear what's going on for yourselves.
Yeah. I've seen Charlene's answer. There's a lady called Delrina Hay on Udemy, and she does some really good courses on Facebook and various other things. And she often does 2 courses for 1 deal as well. So Delrina Hay is worth a look for on udemy.com.
Okay, my 2 penny with Charlene would be this. Where are your clients? So wherever your clients or prospects go, then focus on that. So give you an example. I tend to be very much in the B2B area, and I tend to work with SMEs or SMBs, you know, that employ between, let's say, 10 and 50 people. So they're not on Facebook. They're not really on Twitter. They're mainly on LinkedIn. So I started on LinkedIn. I started a group on LinkedIn that's now got 140,000 members. So go where your prospects are and focus on one thing. So I don't really do Twitter. I do Facebook a bit, but I do it badly. As you can see, I do blab badly. So focus on one thing and try and just be competent at that. That would be my recommendation. I think the mistake is trying to do everything. You know. So.
Do you, Rod, as a result of that, then collaborate with others who are, you know, specialists in, you know, in specific areas in order to cover any gaps that you might have for clients?
I wouldn't say collaborate. I just say I don't do it. I found in the past when I have tried to collaborate, and this might be a bit jaundiced, people tend to let you down. Either stab you in the chest, or even worse, stab you in the back. So I don't tend to do that so much anymore. I just say I don't do that. We need to find somebody else.
Right. Yeah, I suppose it's difficult if, like, it would be very useful for clients if they could find at least references from someone that they have a relationship with. But on the other hand, if giving references, you know, puts a quality value on the expectation and it doesn't deliver, then it's not much, that doesn't serve its purpose either, you know.
And also, you know, if John recommended me, John might have a really good client he gets on well with. John might think I'm quite good. I go and see his client, and his client thinks, well, that Sloane guy's a complete idiot, and I know it all, and you know, a fraud and a charlatan. So that damages John. So, you know, I understand why people are reticent to do that. Makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
John, you mentioned that you build websites. What? It's just that because that's what I'm going to do now. I've been, and this time, other people have done stuff for me before, friends, etc. And the problem is that their personal interests move on, etc. And because they're doing it for you as a favor or whatever, I'm never in control of this stuff myself. So things crash on me, and I'm just left there. So I've sort of this year's resolution. I said I spent the last 4 or 5 days trying to get the handle on WordPress once again. I don't know whether you use WordPress or do you just work off HTML or what do you do?
Too many bad experiences with WordPress.
Oh.
You fit module B from Joe and module Z from Fred doesn't work anymore. It's so open that it's the easiest thing in the world to hack. So I use a couple of different products, to be honest. I use a product called Insight Creation, which is a CMS. You pay for it, and you get what you pay for, like things. And I think that's the downside to WordPress is, all right, got some pop-ups appearing in the corner.
I see there,
I
right?
like a product called Insight. And if you want a small site and you're not looking to do anything massive and you want to do it yourself, have a look at a product called Mobirise, Mobrise, and
Right.
drag and drop builder. And I've been playing with it the last few days, not with a view to do any professional work with it, but because sometimes I get people who come to me who say, I've got no money and I really want to do it myself.
Right.
And I'm quite impressed with it as a product.
All right. Now, why do you say it's for small sites?
Sorry? Rod, I missed what you said.
What's it called again, that product, John?
Mobirise. It's a Dutch product. It's currently in beta, but it's been in beta for at least 8 months. It's free to download. There are plugin modules you can buy, themes and things like that. But it's pretty damn good, actually.
Okay.
I see some comments there. Just thanks for Bruffer Steve about Drupal again. I just sense that, I've played a little with Drupal in the past. So I keep thinking I've played with all of these things, and I've got to stop playing.
The thing with
down,
Drupal, WordPress, they're a shock actually to most people when they come to do something. And you do really need some technical expertise. But if you want to put a small website, I really think this product is going to do quite well in the market. Its limitation is generating forms, in that there are only 3 styles of form. But you don't need to know anything about coding forms. It uses its own third-party delivery mechanism.
I've been looking at a thing called Divi, D-I-V-I, and I spoke to a friend of mine who's a web developer who had done stuff from before, and he spoke to me last night, and he said that he's used it quite a lot recently. But it's very much based on what you said, John, on that plug-and-play module builder, and it's certainly, it's not hugely expensive. Like there's an offer on it at the moment. It's an ordinary $89, I think, or something. And for developer kit, it's $69 or something per year this year. So it's not mad money,
Mobirise is bootstrap based. That's a technology or a framework that sits behind the scenes and then allows it automatically to reshape the viewing.
Or responsive. It's responsive.
Yeah, responsive.
Yeah. Have you any sense that? No, sorry. I've learned a lot of these terms in the last couple of days. I note them in my little book when I see these, But I realize actually, because even I'm on an iPad here at the moment, most people are going to see content in a mobile environment or certainly a variable environment. So the idea of something not being responsive, and the other thing, irrespective of your age, on a small device, font size. If you want someone to read something, if you don't have a decent font size, good luck. Yeah, it's hard to take that on the tube, isn't it? It's hard to take that on the tube and hold on to the bars on either side.
I was going to try a bit of one-upmanship, but I've taken him downstairs. I had a pair of binoculars in here the other day. Oh dear, yes. Yeah, so there's all sorts of new toys around, all sorts of new ideas.
Just a point that I've learned about Blab in the last couple of days that might be of interest, that I had been putting the couple of first Blabs I had up on a YouTube channel, and that was fairly straightforward. Probably the reason I was putting it up on YouTube so it would have a broader potential of being accessed. But then I set up a separate YouTube account or Gmail account and a YouTube channel for that, the Blab How Should Man Live. And I tried then to put the more recent Blab and target that to that particular channel. And yet it just keeps sending it to the original channel. And there's no way within Blab of resetting or redirecting that. Now I have a help correspondence established since yesterday on it, and some guy says he's going to look into it, but I just thought that might be of interest. People may decide to shift their focus or where they want to put their Blabs in the future, you know.
I did actually, if you want to have a look at a bit of Moby Rise,
Yep.
I have actually created a mini site for the gardening community with a list of potato days, potato sales over the next couple of months, and that's on www.ukgardeningevents.co.uk.
Excellent, yep.
It's not meant to be professional, but it will show you the sort of thing you can do in an hour with Moby Rise. So that's UK, and it's not any. Well, I'm sure I typed it. Oh, here it comes. We've obviously got a backup on the queue. And it's entirely drag and drop. There's no coding in that whatsoever.
Right.
There are things that need tidying up, like the gaps between each of the potato days. But
John, what's a potato day? I know I shouldn't ask this.
Sell potatoes for gardeners. There are places where they'll have 300, and I kid you not, 300 different varieties of potatoes on sale. Most of them only have about 30 to 50, but I'm a very keen gardener. I've got 2 allotments. So I belong to a number of gardening groups on Facebook, and we'd had lots of discussion about people couldn't find one. So I started searching Google and put together a list. I've got about another 30 to go on the list that I found in the last day or so. But it was sort of dual purpose. It allowed me to get a feel for what you can do with Moby Rise, and provide something that might have some value to other people at the same time.
Okay. I noticed a comment from Sharlene. I have the same problem that Charlene's mentioning there. So the Twitter handle I'm on is Barack Obama Your Business. Is one I use for a series of events. I can't sign on to Blab with my Pucker Twitter handle. It comes through this old one, so I don't know how to. I've signed out, signed in, signed out again, but I always get stuck with Barack Obama. Your Business.
Clearing cookies.
Sorry?
You tried clearing cookies?
Tried eating them?
No, we all eat cookies, especially me. Come on, chaps. But someone asked me something similar the other day, and I suggested Stephen's put something up there on the right-hand side before Blab login to your corporate account on Twitter. So what he's saying is you need to log into your Twitter account first and then come into here to get to the other account. Make sense?
Don't know.
Well, we'll have to find out later.
Doesn't work though. There you go, Sharlene. The voice of Britain.
I don't think Sharlene's. Is Sharlene in Britain?
I don't know.
Where are?
Yeah, she is.
Dorset. See, we get people from everywhere. We had a gentleman going on about the other day about our accents, you know, and we had to explain that, you know, the difference between being in the southwest and the northeast and the Midlands was quite dramatic, even though it was only about a 350-mile spread. Oh, welcome to Davy Paz's first day on.
Davy Paz, wow.
Yeah, well, you see all sorts of names on here. I'm afraid I'm old-fashioned. It's just John Upton, and so I've not got any be your own, but Barack Obama, your business. So tell us a bit about Barack Obama, your biz.
Do you remember Thomas Power?
Unfortunately, yes. No, I remember him quite well, and the missus with the OBE, and
all that good stuff. Good luck to him. So after Obama first got elected, he said, "I'm surprised nobody's picked up on how Obama used social media to support his campaign. I'm sure there'll be lots of business people out there who are intrigued by that." So I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. So I did a bit of research, and basically I didn't steal, I repurposed somebody else's article. Something else. So I did my research. And I did this presentation called How to Barack Obama Your Business. And I got a cardboard cutout of Obama. And when I first ran it, this must be about 6 months after he was elected, I got the room packed out. After about 6 months, the room got quiet, slower and slower and slower. Fewer and fewer people wanted their photograph taken with this cardboard cutout of Barack Obama Your Business. His sheen, his rock star pixie dust had worn off a little bit. So I stopped doing it for about a year. But it was good fun. That's Barack Obama Your Business. So I turned the president into a verb.
It's funny, I suppose when Barack Obama came to Ireland as part of the rock star imagery, I suppose, and I suppose particularly building on the previous visit by Ronald Reagan, who himself was basically living off the John F. Kennedy impact when he came to Ireland. So they're all sort of trying to rehash that journey. But Barack Obama gave some speeches, but he used this Irish word run, is féidirling. In Irish, that means yes, we can, which is what he was producing everywhere else, but he just localized it. And it was phenomenal because, you know, it's is féidirling, and it's, you know, it's such an emotive, motivational call to action that I can see why, as you said, when the pixie dust was there. And it's unfortunate because a lot of that pixie dust, it just wears off in a way, and yet the message that he was bringing and that cardboard thing was true. I mean, if people get up off their ass and do something, at least something will happen. And you know, in terms of his use of social media and how it would have impacted on other people, I'm sure people did get benefited and that anyway, you know, in terms of bringing them into it. Yes, we can. Well, look, we built everywhere in Ireland. We built everywhere in Ireland. That we built on all the water plains that were full of flood. So I don't know about builders. We can, all right.
Bob the Builder is a children's cartoon.
Oh, I know that, of course. Yeah. We've raised a generation.
He's a real person. Don't say that. He's a real person.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to try and do new or different this year, John?
What am I going to try and do different this year? I'm going to not wait for businesses to come to me as much as I have in the past. That makes me sound like I'm inactive, and that's just not true, because I meet lots and lots of other people on a regular basis. But what I do is, and I'm guilty of it, I know I'm guilty of it, is I'll exchange business cards with somebody, having had a nice chat, and I'll do bugger all afterwards.
Oh, John.
Comfort, you know, life has been comfortable. The last 12 months haven't been that comfortable. So I have been going since '99, so, you know, this is the first year that it's been bad, if I'm really honest.
Okay.
I mean, I've had the ups and downs like everybody's had as the marketplace has gone in and out of recession, etc. But this year was quite bad.
So what works for you in terms of attracting prospects or approaching them currently?
Almost everything comes by word of mouth, if I'm really honest.
Okay.
I've done a few networking clubs. I helped jointly run a networking club called Solihull Business Club. I tell you what I've really noticed in the last 4 months is attendance has dwindled dramatically.
Really?
Not just at our club, but at lots and lots of, even the big names. I mean, 4 years ago, there were 7 BNI chapters within 10 miles of here. Now there are just 2.
There were 7, did you say?
Yeah, and now there's just 2.
All right. Oh, wow.
And what's happened is they've gone smaller and they've joined together. They've not, one has disappeared, they've just amalgamated.
Mm-hmm.
So the South Birmingham ones have amalgamated with the city centre one, and the Solihull ones, we have like 3 in Solihull and 4 in South Birmingham. The 3 Solihull ones have amalgamated together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was simply that on their own they couldn't afford to work with the people whose premises they were at.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't producing enough money to make it the hotel or whatever worthwhile.
Okay.
I'm not at all understanding of quite what's going on, really, of why people are not going. I've asked people. Some people have said they haven't come because the football's been on the telly.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a very difficult thing. I mean,
Is there an age group of people who normally go?
Yes,
is there?
Definitely an age group issue, I think. If we look at the club that I help run, I'm currently vice chairman. I was chairman before. We would regularly get an attendance in the mid-20s. We struggle to get 10 to 12 at a meeting there. They're still members. They just don't come. Now, part of that is perhaps that we have a quite good website and they have a page on the website, and maybe the annual fee is enough to make the page on the website, pays for the fee, if you like. But it's very tough out there at the moment in that arena. I've got a friend who runs another club in the west of Birmingham, and he's experiencing the same as well.
Okay.
Yes, if you talk to our friend in Plymouth, Mike, he's got about 6 clubs on the go at the moment, and they're all doing well. Whether in Plymouth they're all waking up, or whether it's because he's a pretty good marketeer and he's put a lot of effort into those, but down there it seems to be going crazy. But up here, business clubs seem to be, networking seems to be dying a death. Do you do any of that sort of thing, Rod?
Well, I was very much involved with BNI in the very early days. So I joined the 3rd chapter in the UK. I bought a franchise. I developed groups up in Manchester and then sold that business. So the appeal to me was in starting the groups rather than, I have no real interest in running an administration system or a membership-based group. That didn't appeal to me. I see somebody at Maven UK said there is BNI sinister. It is what it is. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, so be it. What I find now is, though, I find networking is for lazy people. Controversial there. Networking is for lazy people, because if you know who you want to sell to or market to, why don't you approach them yourself? So I do a lot of cold direct approaching now. I do a lot of cold emailing, and take it that way, right? So I think I'm a big fan of cold emailing, and I take the approach that's used very much, in the States, particularly in Silicon Valley, with the way those companies grow, and they do a lot of cold emailing.
That's something I've got plans to do with this year. I've actually got a client who I send a lot of emails out for, and I've seen some of the successes he's had, and I'm going to be doing some of that for myself this year.
Good.
But I'm also feeling that maybe I need to actually knock on some people's doors. I've had a particular success with a lead I got through a Facebook group.
Oh, all right.
Where a lady in Bristol with a couple, well, one a beauty salon originally, now two, was kind of disappointed with the level of interest she got from people about developing a website for her. So I said to her, I'll come and see her. So I got in my car, I drove down to Bristol, 90 minutes away.
Blimey.
Well, I wanted to go somewhere different. We made it a day out as well. The wife came and we went.
The wife came. Did you take sandwiches in the car?
No, we didn't take sandwiches. We always have a Sainsbury's £3 deal.
Oh, the meal deal, yeah. Woo.
As a consequence of that, I did a website for her. She was really pleased. I've done a second website, which is an independent shop. Last year, she was, for the organisation that looks after beauty salons, she was Large Salon of the Year.
I can understand why a beauty salon owner would approach you, John. You're obviously...
I'm so beautiful, aren't I? Yeah. Well, no, she was just moaning that nobody really paid any interest. They would all send her a quote for £1,000, but they wouldn't tell her what they got for their £1,000. Yeah. So I did her a proper spec because I come from a programming background a long, long time ago, and you always wrote specs. You didn't write your program on guessing. You wrote what you do, and so I have now a core of a website, if you like, that's been there. It was marked. They were 10 topics they were marked on. Each topic got 5 marks, and their website got full marks. So I really was marketing that to the beauty market, hadn't I? Really?
You have. What's the website?
It's called victoriarosebeauty.co.uk.
Victoria's Secrets.
No, victoriarosebeauty.co.uk. And it's a self-administered website, so she can edit it herself. Yeah. And you'll see that I have to every few weeks go through and change some of the spelling errors, but we do laugh about that.
And if somebody's looking to get a website done, what sort of budget should they? And that's a silly question, like how tall is a Chinaman?
Well, my piece of string stretches from here to Paris. Where's the middle, Yeah. I tell people that if they want a real website that does their business, it isn't necessarily the money that's the key factor. It's whether the person can come in and understand their business.
Okay.
But my average website sale is about £1,200 these days.
Okay.
And I can tell you that was once I got £10,000 for the same size website 10 years, 12 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. The biggest problem out there is, and I have to be really careful here because I am in the spare bedroom at home, yes, although we have multiple spare bedrooms now. The kids have left, or 2 of the 3 kids have left. The back bedroom kids, and I'll call them kids because they are mainly youngsters, will come in and do it for 250 quid.
Yeah.
But they won't understand your business. They won't understand what you really want, and they'll leave you with something you can't do anything with at the end of the day.
Mm.
Welcome, Paul. Nice to see you. So, it is how long's a piece of string. I only do websites that people can alter and add to themselves. I do not want to be on call 7 days a week. Can you just add this? Can you just add that? So what I do is, in my budget, there's training, And also on every website, there are training videos of how to do things. So all my websites have a back end, and in that back end are training videos.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a bit more expensive than most, but you get to edit them yourselves. You don't have to go out and learn WordPress to do it. And I'm just going to let Paul in. Have you met Paul, Rod?
Paul Rod, no.
Hello. Rod, have you met Paul? Paul's a big man on Blabbing. He's a pro, as you can see from his...
Oh, look at all this gear. Ooh.
Actually, you say that, I've not been on Blabbing before Christmas.
You've been on Blab, though, since Christmas, more times than I've had on dinner.
Yeah, I'm just going to, if you don't mind, refresh, because I've not got things set up properly.
He's gone. Paul held a Christmas party blab, dressed in the Christmas jumper, the Christmas hat, the tinsel.
Jolly, how many can put a light on? It's very dark here.
That's better.
Hello, Paul. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm well, thanks. Yeah, you?
No, I've got a sore throat. Of all the days I could end up being the host because Stephen's having technical issues.
Oh, is it?
I've got a bloody sore throat.
Oh, no.
It's my celebratory sore throat. I got it on Saturday, and it was my birthday on Saturday. We tried going out and burning it out with the curry on the evening, and that didn't work. It's still got my sore throat.
So
I was sad off heart. I was 60 last Saturday.
Oh, right. Many happy returns. I just wanted to just come back at you on one of the points you made earlier about web developers, if you don't mind. Because you said about, the kid in the back room and, they're not going to understand your business and all the rest of it. And while a lot of the time that is true and very relevant, equally a lot of the time it's not relevant. If you're a one-man band who just wants a flat website and doesn't really want somebody to... A lot of people know what they want and don't need you to understand their business. I mean, I let's say, got a lot of experience in lots of different businesses over my 47 years. But, the thing is if I said that I knew everybody's business and understand everybody's business, I'd be lying. And it's not really that important. So
in fact, earlier in the blab, I actually suggested a product that people who want to do what you want to do go and have a look at. Product called MobiRise, which is drag and drop developer. It's MobiRise.com.
What is it? A WYSIWYG type thing, is it?
It's a drag and drop Bootstrap, which is the responsive framework, and I've even put together a sample site for people to have a look at, and it's pretty damn good if you know what you want. But you don't want to get into the technical levels of WordPerfect or WordPress. Well, I'm showing my age. WordPerfect.
WordPerfect.
No, what I meant was there are people out there that can't be asked to even build it themselves. They just want someone to do it for them. And so long as you've got a rough idea of sketched out in your mind what it is that you want and want it to do. A kid in the back bedroom will do it for 200 quid. Well, actually, may even serve the purpose a lot of the time. I know it might not be very forwards compatible, and that you might. But if you're on a limited budget and you just need a web presence just to get you off the ground to point people to.
I'm not decrying them. There's a marketplace for them. It's not my marketplace.
No,
is what I was going to say.
Yeah.
My marketplace, to be honest with you, is usually the person that's been burnt by that route.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
John, have I told you my website story?
Sorry?
Have I told you my website story?
No, let's hear yours, Rod.
So a few years ago, I was working at home on a Sunday afternoon in another office, and the phone rang, and I don't know why. I picked it up on a Sunday afternoon. This voice said, "Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Sloane. I'm just giving you a quick call. Are you looking for a new website?" I thought, this is interesting. 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. Website. I'm game for this. I'll have some of this. So I chatted to this person for a bit, and I said, well, what do you develop it in? He mentioned something, and I said, you do Drupal? He said, no, we don't do Drupal. And I said, oh, well, that's what I really want. Shame. And then I said, as a matter of interest, why are you calling me at 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon? Why don't you call me during the week? And the caller said, I can't call you during the week. And I said, why not? He said, I'm at school.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I said, how old are you? He said, I'm 15. I said, oh, crikey. By the time you're 21, you'll either be a millionaire or in prison. Good luck.
You can't.
Going back to you was, mistake that guy did. He never followed me up, never came back to me. So
well, that's because he's a kid playing at it. That's why.
Yeah, but he'll get business.
I say hats off to him.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Nobody said you can't cold call, Tim. Nobody said you can't cold call on a Sunday. Who cold calls on a Sunday? You know. So good luck to him. Oh, he'll be a millionaire now. I'm sure.
Oh, hats off to him. I think that's a great story. Equally, my dentist, who I now have several sites for, when he had his first website done, he had it done by the family friend. And the family friend put a counter on the front page. The counter only ever went up when the dentist went and visited it himself. So, you know, the dangers are that, you know, the guys, they write these things, but they have no understanding of how to make it rank for Google, to get it right in Google and to do the SEO side of things. But as I keep saying, there is a £250 marketplace. It's just I don't want to be in the £250 marketplace because it's spent before you can, you know, click your fingers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's all right. I've got this pop-up thing that keeps coming up, and I wish I knew how to get rid of it. And I've only been in IT since 1972, but I can't stop pop-ups on my own PC. It's a piece of software for linking the mobile phone. Just wondering where I've put my mobile phone then. Which is absolutely brilliant, but annoys the death of me because I can't work out how to turn pop-ups off. Every time something goes to your Facebook, etc., comes in the corner of the screen. But I wouldn't be without it because it allows me to connect, download, and all that stuff off my laptop, send messages, etc. It's a product for Android phones called AirDroid, and wow, I wouldn't be without it, but it's just got these annoying pop-ups in the corner if you've got it running in the background.
Okay.
Anybody else like to come and join us? Sharlene, why don't you pop in? You know, you've probably typed more than anybody today, so come and talk to us.
I'm happy to duck out if anybody wants my seat. Just say so.
Well, we've got, if we look at our little map, we've got people from all over. Charlene's screaming. Why are you screaming? The whole idea of this blab is that you can pop in and nobody will be judgmental. That's the whole idea of Blabbing for Britain. We talk about stuff. In the last blab, we got to see some of the floods and floodplains in Scotland because one of the guys had fixed up his iPhone so that it was a wireless remote camera and then used that as his camera instead of his camera on his Mac. So, you know, there's all sorts of things. Not me yet. We don't bite, I promise. Even though you've got these big teeth, we don't bite, I promise. Okie doke. Well, we've been going for an hour. Anybody else got anything they'd like to say? Oh, somebody's told me how to fix my pop-up problem. See, the whole blab has been worthwhile just to learn how to stop the thing popping up.
Good.
Anybody else like to join us? Anything you'd like to say before we go off recording, Rod?
We're not
We
recording
record
this
for an
morning.
hour and then publish the hour, and then we have open off record where people can come in and not.
Oh, right, the after show party.
But the after show party does usually get a few people who don't want to be recorded to pop in. So I'm going to turn recording off now, and anybody's free to say anything they want then.